The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Ardor SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest from north of the border, Jennifer Jones with eXp Realty. How are you, Jennifer?
I am so fabulous, and I'm so honored to be here this morning with you. So thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome and glad to have you. First and foremost, how's fall going in Canada?
It's fabulous. The market is obviously shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
However, we've dug in with mindset, and we're actually doing better than we did even a year or 2 years ago. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's good news. I love to hear that. So let's start at the beginning. How did you get started, Jennifer? Have you always been in real estate, or did you transition from another career? Tell us that story.
Yeah, so I'd actually been buying and selling, flipping property in both Florida and in Canada. Okay. And I was in horse racing. Actually, I was in harness racing. So I know I was traveling over, North America, going to Lexington, Kentucky, buying horses, and racing them. So there was an industry shift here in Canada with the slots, and they weren't designating as much money back to purse money. So it affected all of standard racing. So I got out of that, and we were actually, of course, selling our own properties, buying them, renovating and flipping. So I thought, why don't I just get licensed? Like, this is silly. Yeah. So I did get licensed, and then had friends and family reaching out, hey, why don't you list this? Why don't you do this? And that's ultimately how I got into real estate. Once I finished my first year, I'd made $150,000 and went, oh, that's interesting. Like, right, you can make money doing this, and then it became intentional.
Yeah, it definitely has to become intentional when you start seeing numbers like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How can I move forward? Well, I would ask you, what's the big difference between horse racing and real estate? Normally someone says, well, I moved over from engineering, or I moved over from whatever. I don't think anybody right now is questioning what the difference is between, horse racing and real estate. I think everybody gets that,
Yeah, exactly.
So, we talked about how you got started, and in the follow through there. So tell me about today. I mean, are you a solo, or do you have a team, or tell me how you work there?
Right. So basically, in my third year of real estate, I made 1.1 million gross commission income on my own as an individual realtor. And as a result of that, I couldn't service the clients at the high level that I wanted to serve them. Like, I wasn't quick enough back to people the way I wanted to be. So I ended up having people coming to me asking if they could join and be part of a team. And that's when the team ultimately started, was my year 3. So we've had the team up and running now for 5 years. We just finished our second year with eXp as the #1 organized team. 21 members or over for the world. So that's pretty cool. And we're sitting in the top 10 on the Toronto Real Estate Board. That's the largest board in Canada. And, we're focused on very high level of service, give more than you receive. And we focus on financially investing with the client to help them net more money. So we may paint a house, maybe we're doing repairs, we've built decks, doing extra things that go that extra mile. And that's, it's why we've risen as quickly as we have in 5 years.
Wow, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's super fun.
So if I came up to Canada, if I came to
Yes.
I'm still trying to get over the horse racing. Because I'm in Florida, there's a lot of that,
Yeah.
obviously, there's a lot of
Oh
that.
yeah, Pompano. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in West Palm, so I'm right in that strip. Well, it's even funnier, and this is not about me at all, but they have it at schools. If you go to the right areas, at their private school, they're out there horse racing or the steeple chasing or whatever. I'm like, wow, I don't remember that when I was in high school or even junior high, but hey, okay. Um, so if I were to come up to Canada and we were to have lunch and we're just talking and we kind of talk about what's going on, and I said, hey, Jennifer, I've got a magic wand and I can fix any ongoing issue you might have. What would be that ongoing issue that you've always struggled with, or maybe you have issues with on a regular basis? Trick question.
We and myself, I personally focus always on like solutions for everything, right?
Right.
So even if we have an issue, let's say we have an issue, we address it right away. So we work on a fix, and then what system can we put into place to prevent, right? So let's say something happens with a client or an agent, something's going on within the team. We'll have a conversation and say, as a management group, okay, A, how do we fix it, right? And B, what kind of a system can we put into place to make sure that this is never going to happen again? And that's how we operate. Okay. And we won't go back to a client, let's say, without having two solutions to the potential challenge that we have. So we're solution based. We don't go back to a client going, oh my God, we've got an issue. There's a problem here, Debbie Downer, right? We go back with, okay, this is a current challenge that we have. These are the two solutions that we've come up with that we can put into place that would, move us out of this. And we're open to whatever you have as a potential solution as well. So just be more collaborative. So I don't like to think about problems. I like to focus on what my big picture is and where I'm looking to grow into, and just who are those people that I need with me along the way. So I would say the one challenge would probably be, finding real talent in people, like people with that same very high level of service, of routine, self-discipline, like standards for themselves that start to show up in every area of their life. So when we see and find talent, we jump on it right away. Even if we weren't in a position, let's say, that we would be looking to hire someone, we're going to knock ourselves out to find a way to make that work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the key is surrounding yourself with good people, right? I mean, I think that's the key for anybody in success. We all don't know it all. I may act like I don't know, right?
No, and one thing I would say, I mean, that I think the biggest learning lesson for me was a year after starting team, sitting down, looking at my P&L, right? And going, wow, I lost $150,000, even though we made even more than I made the previous year, right? As an individual agent, I was doing better than running this team. So I had to sit down and, have a very honest conversation with the team and say, hey, look, I take full responsibility for this. I made the splits too much in favor of you in relation to what the expenses really are to run this thing. So I'm going to have to change these splits. And I fully understand if you want to leave as a result of that. I want you to stay. I respect you. I believe in every single one of you. This is something we're going to have to do, is put the oxygen mask on the business first, right? So we can move forward. And we didn't lose anyone off that. We did lose someone about a month later for probably a combination of different things. So I would say it's more that. And then I think we don't have this challenge, but that's the biggest challenge that I have people come to me to want to discuss from other teams, is having people leave, right? Keeping team members. And my focus is always on creating big enough opportunities for the people that are with you. So like, getting to know them, getting to know what it is that they really, really want, and then helping them find a way to achieve that, and believing in them and holding them accountable, right? Because at the end of the day, you can love people into failure, or you can hold them accountable and love them into success, right? And that's something they have to choose, and then allow you to hold them accountable to their own dreams.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely 100%. Accountability goes a long way, right? I mean, it really does, especially on a team. You have to be accountable to them. They have to be accountable to you. It's very symbiotic. I hear different ways of putting it, but I always call it symbiotic. I mean, their success is so predicated on you and vice versa. So we talked about kind of today. Now, I really want to hear the big story. Is tell me about the next 1, 3, or 5 years. What's the big plan for Jennifer and her team? What is there a blueprint in place, or is it more of the same? It's never more of the same, so I'm not going to say that. But what's the big plan for the long game, the short game, and everything in between?
So I think for the team, it's just, doubling the business, right? So the plan over the next 2 years would be to double the business and move the team up into, that #1 spot on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Everyone above us is, 20, 30 years in the business, and sometimes generational business that is passed down. So that's sort of where our eye is. Another main focus for me, separate from the team, is actually to move into attracting with EXP, right? And starting to build my organization. So I've been working on that, and we've actually set up an expand group for agents that are, either kind of orphaned off their own lines with EXP, or they've come into our organization, and we're teaching them, coaching them, training them. We just did a KV Core training. We brought in Sylvia from the US, who's amazing, and had her train the whole group for Canada. So that was really cool. We're focused on Canadian growth right now. So I've actually kind of locked down my team in terms of not bringing more people to the team. We're sitting probably about 26 agents right now. And as a result of the market, we are making sure that we are feeding our team members without bringing more people into the loop there. What we're doing is helping everyone else within this expand group, right? And we even have some of our own team training in that group to help bring those people along and help them be successful and find their way.
Yeah, that's a good plan. There you go. You're set.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Who knows?
Moving on. So if somebody wanted to be on your team, and let me ask you this, and I know you probably said this earlier, but I kind of need the clarification. Do you have team members all over the world, or is it primarily Canada, the States, or is it just Canada? You probably mentioned this, but it probably slipped through one ear out the other.
They're all South and Southern. So for my formal team, my team is not, my team is a traditional team. Right. Yeah. So it's not one of these expanded groups, all over. We function as a team. Like, we have meetings every single morning. There's accountability to show up for different things. So no, it's in person. So it's South and Central Ontario. And for us right now, we won't be bringing anyone else new into this team environment. We're bringing them into the expand side of it. Yeah. And if they really wanted to be on team, we want to see their performance there first and see their ability to show up every day and do the work prior to bringing them onto the team. Right.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah. And they say, right, like, you're as weak as your weakest player.
Right.
And people can look great. Right.
Well, people can say anything, right? Oh, I can do it all. And then.
Right. It shows up over time. Like, they either have the ability to show up and be consistent or not. And the truth is, with real estate, it's a belly to belly business, right? Yeah, and it's about consistency and just doing it consistently. The activity, if you take today, shows up within 90 days as your energy in is pay on the outside or at the outset. But the truth is you wake up every day unemployed. So as we say, you know, sales is not for everyone. And if you're a really sensitive person, you have to find a way to build up that shell a bit, or this may not be the business for you.
A thick skin, right? Yeah. It's a thick skin. And the people don't know that. I'm so glad you said that. And I've, you know, I've done over 200 of these now. And, you know, when anytime somebody mentions that, I'm like, hallelujah, yes, because I don't mean to sound cliche, but HGTV lies to us. You know, I always say that. It comes on and I look at my wife, I go, they're lying. You know, it doesn't work like that. First of all,
Life's not selling sunset. What the heck?
That's impossible.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's true, but it does lie to us because it's entertainment. It's not real world. You know, it's not the real world of EXP, you know, Canada. So yeah, I mean, the bottom line is you have to have thick skin, and a lot of folks do get into the game and get into real estate and expect I'm going to close a couple of deals a year and make 200, 300,000. And, you know, there are people like that. They're just those people, but they were kind of, I always say they're an after the fact deal where they had the sphere right first. And then they went and got their license and, you know, said, okay, I'm going to sell a couple of Hollywood, you know, homes, Beverly Hill homes, and they're going to be 20 million each, and I'm going to make a bunch of money. That's great. But the other 99.9% of us out there, it doesn't work like that, right? I mean, we could put ourselves in the luxury market, but even then, boots on the ground work. You still have to work. So that leads me to my last question. I know you work, so that's not what it's going to be. My last question is, how much of your business, I'd be interested in knowing, how much of your business is boots on the ground versus, say, digital, or versus, say, using a lot of social media resources? Or, I mean, a lot of people I talk to, I just got off a line with someone in Ohio, right? And they're like, oh no, we're still putting out door hangers and doing, you know, this and this. How about you, Jennifer?
Yeah, that's such a great question, right? So I think the industry's changed a lot from the point that even I got in 8 years ago. And what we noticed, like with COVID kind of shutting everything down, because that's what happened in Canada, you had less people driving around looking at signs. So we weren't getting sign calls, which is interesting. And it was almost like that high percentage that had gone to digital, which we were already in. We started, you know, with online leads back probably 5.5 years ago, and an inside sales department. I have an inside sales partner manager who takes care of that and books appointments, you know, through leads online. So that would represent about 18% of our business for us is through the inside sales department. And I think we've got the vast majority would be like repeat referral for us, because we do such a great job of taking care of our clients and touching them on a regular basis, i.e. we have their birth dates. We actually have someone who handwrites birthday cards, puts in gift certificates that are relevant for them, and then sends those out. We do, you know, holiday cards with lottery tickets in them right now. We'll do like St. Patty's Day, hope you get lucky, wink, wink, nudge, nudge,
right?
You know, with another lottery ticket, right? We do client events, we do all kinds of things. So I think the repeat referral, once you have the clients, that's going to be your easiest source of, you know, of deals or revenue, is working through the people that you know, right? Because they already trust you. So as long as you do a great job, it's pretty simple. And then we advertise on 2 different radio stations, and that brings in a percentage of business for us as well. And we have at this point 2 physical offices, which also do bring in a small percentage of business just from a visibility standpoint.
Right.
But I would say, like, looking now at the statistics of who's looking online, that's gone up even higher, right? I think in 2010, we were at 95% of people were looking online when they're looking for either to pick a realtor to list their property or to purchase. and then they work with statistically the first or second realtor they meet. So that stat had gone higher. We're probably like 97% now or something, right?
Right.
So the opportunity is, especially with EXP and KV Core, is being able to be online in front of people and be that first or second realtor. But the important part of that then becomes your, how fast are you responding to these things and contacting people?
Right.
The highest conversion is going to happen in the first 8 minutes. And then it can take up to 8 times to reach someone. Well, most realtors will quit on the first or second try, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is there's gotta be such, especially when people aren't lining up outside with offers in their hand, definitely the model of the boots on the ground, or the model of the proper follow-up, is going to have to be instated. That's just what I believe down here in Florida, in our end, where things were, we get 300,000 people a year. Thank goodness it's not a month. A year move in, and not always enough inventory. But even then, you've got to have good follow-up. You've got to be able to capture that lead properly, bring them into the fold, and hopefully create a customer for life, right? I mean, that's the goal. There's always buyers, there's always sellers, just got to put them together.
That's right.
How would someone get in touch with you, Jennifer?
So the best way probably be through, if it's EXP, through Workplace, right? So Jennifer Jones, and you'll see out of the Toronto area.
Okay.
If it's through email, then it's Jen, JENN @jj.team, TEAM. So Jen @jj.team.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're kind of winding down on the show here, and I always give our guest, I'm just merely the DJ, right? I'm just spinning records here. You're the focal point. So take us out, anything on your heart, soul, your mind that you want to share with others. It could be about work, it could be about life. Take us out. Tell us what you think.
I think the biggest key to success is simply in mindset, right? In that what you're thinking, what you're believing, what you're saying to yourself, what you're visualizing for yourself will come to pass, right? So just really monitoring your thoughts and your words that come out of your mouth in regards to yourself, other people, and where you want to be. And an example of this, even, looking at going into my 3rd year there of real estate, after the 2nd year I'd made 500,000, and I literally declared I will make $1 million in my 3rd year. And I believed it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew I was going to do it. I put it up on my vision board. I declared that every day. I got up and said, how can I serve? And then a year later, 1.1 million. So I think that's the key message here, is that anyone can do what I've done. It's not special, right? I'm not a special human being with supernatural powers.
Oh, come on.
The truth is that it's that desire to show up every day and serve people without considering what is in it for me. By being entirely focused on you, Tim, and what can I do for you, right, I'm actually going to benefit as a result, but not because that's my intention, right? And so I think just staying focused on that and knowing that if you can spend some time visualizing each day and recognizing that there's scientific studies on this visualization, such as, who wants to work out? I work out, but let's say that you don't, right? And you want the abs. Simply by visualizing that exercise for 3 times a day for 15 minutes, you would have the same result a month later, almost, as the person that was doing the physical exercise simply by visualizing. So Olympic coaches have recognized this. My husband's family's in hockey, so this is used by all the professional hockey leagues, right? They use visualization with their players. So this is something that we can use and put into play. And if you don't believe me, just try it. Give it a go. Be committed. Try it for 30 days, and then let me know what happens.
Hey, I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be my abs, but it'd be something.
So good.
Right. So thank you so much, Jennifer, for being on the show. I think it's been very informative. Enjoyed it thoroughly. I look forward to catching up with you in the next like 3, 6, 9 months. See how things are going then.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, Tim. I appreciate your time.
Have a great weekend too.
You too. Take care.
You too.